All right, here we go. We're looking at number 1. Okay, it says find the trig ratio for all 3 functions. All right, notice how it says sine of A, cosine of A, tangent of A. That means A is going to be our reference angle. I'll label this the opposite side. Remember, the angle, side across from my right angle is always my hypotenuse, and this would be the adjacent side. Remember, for all of these, a lot of these problems, all right, when dealing with right triangles, we're going to use our trusty friend SOHCAHTOA. So I would suggest writing that at the top of your review packet if you haven't done that yet. All right, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So for this problem, sine is O over H, which is 35 over 37. Okay, we're just asking for the ratio, so you just leave it like that. Cosine is A over H, so in this problem, it'd be 12 over 37. And then tangent is O over A, so 35 over 12. And if you can reduce, but if not, just leave it. And I can't reduce any of those. All right, for number 2, my angle is up here. So this is my O, this is my H, and this is my A. Okay, so if that's the case, then sine is still O over H. All right, again, look, you can see here it says angle A. All right, sine of angle A, so sine is O over H, so that's 20 over 29. Cosine A over H, adjacent over hypotenuse, so 21 over 29. And tangent O over A, so opposite over adjacent, so O 20 over 21. All right, so it says for every problem at this point, please round your answer to the nearest 100. Okay, so that means we're going to get some decimals, so don't be freaked out by decimals. Decimals are numbers 2. So if I'm given the 45, this is my reference angle. That makes this my opposite, my hypotenuse, my adjacent. SOHCAHTOA, I have A. I'm trying to solve for A. I know what H is, so I'm using A and H. A and H means cosine. So cosine of what angle? Well, my angle is 45 equals A over H. So X is my A, H is 19. I can put this over 1 and cross multiply. And I'll get X equals 19 times the cosine of 45. And you should get 13.44. I remember when you're plugging this in your calculator, make sure your calculator is in degree mode. If you set it in degree mode, all you have to do is do that once, as long as a friend doesn't borrow it, or if you're borrowing a friend's calculator, make sure their mode is in degrees, since some other classes use radians. All right, let's look at number 3. I'm given the 26, so that's my reference angle. The 14 is my O. This is my hypotenuse. That means it makes this the adjacent. So if I'm using O and A, that's tangent. So tangent of 26 equals 14 over X. Put the tangent over 1. Cross multiply. I get tangent of 26 times X equals 14. Divide both sides by the tangent of 26. So in my calculator, I would do 14 divided by a tangent of 26. And you should get 28.70. Remember, I'm rounding to the nearest hundredth, which is 2 decimal places. All right, 2 decimal places. Okay, the difference between 5 and 6, all right, 5 and 6 compared to 3 and 4 is that I'm solving for a missing angle now. So I'm solving for missing angles. Remember, we use the inverse. All right, so again, this is my reference angle. I'm going to call it X. This would be my opposite. This would be the hypotenuse. This would be the adjacent. All right, so I'm using O and H, so that's sine. Sine of X equals 34 over 37. And then to find X, I use the sign, the inverse sign, just like that. Okay, again, how do I get that in my calculator? Just press second sign, and that inverse should come up. Okay, and I use my ratio just as I see it, 34 divided by 37. And you should get 66.77. Same idea here. I'm trying to find the missing angle. I'll call that x. This is my opposite. This is the hypotenuse since it's across from my right angle, and that makes this the adjacent. I'm looking at A and H. A and H is cosine, so cosine of our missing angle equals 14 over 20. And then to find the missing angle, I use the inverse, so cosine inverse of 14 divided by 20. And you should get 45.58 degrees. All right, I'm gonna pause there.